plenty of questions for you, Joanna, but since we have Sean here, I wanted to start by just asking how you first found Joanna's films and how you became a part of the project.
Yeah, sure. It was in 2016 or 17. Joanna's wonderful short, Bad at Dancing, which you should all see if you haven't seen. It's currently streaming on the Criterion channel. It was part of a short film contest or something going on this website called Hammer to Nail. It's a great film blog. And I was on the jury. I don't think we awarded you anything, but I love the film so much, it was my favorite, that I reached out to Joanna and I let her know that. And we stayed in touch for a while. I got to see her other feature, I Hate Myself. I Hate Myself. And which is like a hybrid doc narrative, right? How do you?
I would call it just documentary, but people interpret it that way
sometimes.
Okay,
Which I also loved. And we just kept in touch until the day came where you were about to make this film. And Joanna, I guess, reached out to me along with her two wonderful producers, Graham and Pierce, and I came on board. And to tell you the truth, it's an honor to be on board with a film like this and to work with a director like Joanna. It helps me a lot more than it helps you to be involved with this. So that's pretty much the way it is.
That's false. I have to say that. Well, it was wonderful to work with you on this.
Well,
I appreciate all your support.
Well, thank you. I truly feel that Joanna has such a strong, distinct voice. I love her sense of humor. And I read the script for this film, and it was exactly what I was expecting from Joanna, and that's a good thing. And so we just set out to find the money for you. I didn't bring much, but we did bring a little through my wonderful manager who is here, Adam Kirsch, and who is also an associate producer on this film. And they went ahead and made it, and it's a micro budget, and so I have to say that I love the fact that independents are being made on this level still. It's very difficult to get a film made of any size, but especially of this size, and it's been an incredible journey afterwards to watch it, premiere at Cannes, and all the other wonderful New York Film Festival, and now here at AFI. It's a success story, indie success story.
It's a little embarrassing, but thank you. Thanks.
And Magnolia distributing it is an incredible win. So
yes, thanks to our everyone at Magnolia and also Adam and you. I just wanted to get my thanks in while we were on the topic. So.
You mentioned Joanna's amazing sense of humor. You're so funny in this role as an actress, and you're so funny as a writer. But there's actually a lot of heavy lifting that's also done in the filmmaking. With comedy, it's just it's filmed so funny. So I was wondering if you could talk about how you create that kind of distinct tone with the filmmaking.
I guess with the comedy aspect of it, I really like to let the action play out in long takes and wides to show kind of the absurd context of these situations. And kind of just like design each scene in what way that I thought would be best for the comedy to play out. Like in the running back and forth scene, I really wanted to stage it so that I didn't run closer to the camera any time and just emphasize the repetitiveness of the action and just stay on the same plane, back and forth. So, things like that.
Yeah, I've noticed in talking to people after watching the film that everyone kind of latches onto a different moment. I loved the film recreations. Those were just so hilarious to me. I also wanted to ask about the scene where you start singing this song from Les Mis.
Most people see it as a song from Les Mis, but it's actually a song that I wrote in high school about Harry Potter and specifically Sirius Black in book 3. So we couldn't really get the rights to other musicals, and then I realized that there was one that was available. So
it's such a good song. Great work. You worked with a lot of friends on this film, and you also worked with your parents, and I love them. There's actually the scene with the pulling out the box of old homework happened to me as well. So were there any challenges with working?
I'm hoping that this film incites a whole bunch of homework transfers in households all over this country. So,
How was it working with your parents?
it was exciting that they came on board. It was, big. It was very supportive of them to do that. We had done a test shoot with them for framing and kind of pacing early in the process, and they just were both so great. And I was secretly kind of hoping to see how they were on camera and acting as well. And I was interested in working with kind of a mix of professional actors and first-time actors to give like different textures to it. Like I wanted the film to be kind of a complex mosaic of different neighborhoods and like actors, non-actors, and tones and settings. So yeah, I thought that diversity would add to it.
Yeah, it worked really beautifully. I want to give you guys a chance to ask some questions as well. I feel some good energy in here. Is there anyone? Yes, right here.
Can you talk about the editing language of the film? Like there would be a scene where Anne would just like walk into an apartment and like get a text, and that was just like the whole scene, or just the little moments of sort of, it seems like, just how you're building the story out of these sort of mundane moments or seemingly mundane moments.
Just to repeat the question, it's about the editing in the film and how you build the story out of these kind of small, seemingly mundane moments.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I was hoping to do with this film was kind of creating an impressionistic sense of the protagonist's experience using these short scenes and very elliptical storytelling, partly to kind of play with like how we experience the passage of time. And sometimes like days will like go by real quickly, and sometimes they stretch out very slowly, kind of depending on relationships or the situations going on. So I kind of wanted to create different formal rules for each of the 5 sections and give each section their own kind of topography and like varied like feel, and nothing too neat and like perfect, because like I didn't want like it to be like, and now we're in this section and everything is blue, but just a little bit more like gradual shifts and different tenors.
Yeah, some of the sections had like more montagey vibes or moved quicker or something like that. Yeah.
Did we have any other questions? If not, I'll ask more. Yes, right here.
I'm so curious about what the initial spark was that made you want to write this story. I mean, it was such a vulnerable piece, watching you go through that experience, and it's very admirable, and it's wonderful, and I appreciate you sharing that yourself with us. And so I'm just curious, how that whole process was.
Yeah, if you could just talk about the initial spark of the film and what the origin of the story was.
Thank you. There wasn't really too much of one. I just I guess one day the idea to write lots and lots of short scenes that drew on personal experience kind of, came to me, and I ran with it. And I've been interested in concise humor for a long time, and was just curious to push further with that and write these short scenes that kind of, bring out the art and comedy of everyday experience. And I was excited by the humor of the way people actually talk, and really listening to the ways we talk to each other.
Yes, in the big cat.
This is my first time seeing any of your films. It's brilliant. I don't know if this is similar in your other work. Can you talk about sound design or intentionality around sound?
Yeah, so if you could just talk about the sound design in the film.
Yeah, I mean, It was really exciting to do sound design for this film. We kept a lot of it intentionally minimal, with not too much background sound, and mostly diegetic music, except for that, mostly diegetic music. And partially that was to like highlight the humor of the deadpan-ness of it all. Like, I feel like sometimes like the sound of like, the plastic lid being opened or something like that. Maybe that's not the most humorous one, but I feel like the humor, or like the mom tossing the shell on the like sand, like things like that would pop out more. And so it was important for me to, use sound design to heighten those lines and dialogue more. And then also just to use it to work with the transitions more. Sometimes juxtapose certain scenes by going, loud to quiet or things like that. I feel like the first couple sections, the rhythm is like a big driver of experiencing it. So, sometimes like I just need like a car like escalating into the next scene to like feel the rhythm of it emotionally.
I think we have time just for one or two more questions. Yes, right here.
Kind of jumping off that, something that just stood out to me was just the whole comedic timing was so specific, and it just created such a world that's so unique to you. And I was wondering, with you being on camera, how that process was of finding that in the moment, if it was premeditated or if you just kind of felt it in the moment. How did you develop that?
Yeah, if you could just talk about the comedic timing and how it came together, whether it was in the moment or as something that was planned.
I really like having scenes with lots of time in them, partially because I feel like I like the comedy of people exploring unknown territory, and sometimes in silences and people like kind of figuring out how to engage with each other. It allows more time for, comedy to arise. And yeah, I guess I just like heard it as a specific way when I was writing it. Sometimes, I can't remember exactly if it arose in the moment or not. I think it was mostly feeling it out in some ways and having specific ideas, some balance, I guess. Yeah.
I have to say the script actually, and I don't have any specifics here, but the script, when you read it when I read it for the first time, it has that timing in there. Somehow she worked it in there with, and I knew what the rhythm of this film would be before Joanna even made it. It was on the page. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Now, I know you just finished this film, but I did want to ask if you have anything else in the works, any projects we can look forward to next.
Well, I'm working on applying to law school. Is my next... No, I'm not. Vociferous. I have a few projects in development, and still sticking with comedies, and taking this one around a bit more. And it's going to be released in the spring, so look out.
Amazing.
Yes.
Well, we love this film so much. We're so happy to have it here at the festival, and we're so happy to have you both here with us. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Spread the word. Thanks, guys.